I've seen when people take control of their health, take control of their bodies, and start doing self care, the tremendous things they produce. The amount of confidence, the energy, the impact that they can create is limitless. It's to your own limit and capacity.
100%. I totally agree. Welcome to the How to Heart Show, helping men reconnect to the heart and empower others as the leaders they were born to be. I'm Vincent Haasboom. The world needs the raw and authentic men right now. Join us if you're ready to make a change. Hey, what's up, Lions, and welcome to the How to Heart Show. Really, fitness was for me always something that was really important, but I was also slacking as well. And now that I'm gonna reach my 40s, I felt like, okay, I want to have more depth about fitness. I'm not a dad, but still, it's really important for me to stay healthy in the length of my life. So I got in contact with Brian Parana, and what I like about him is his vibe, how he explains things, and also his fitness and helping men and especially dads how to have a healthy, strong, and also in the mindset and business wise to help men. And what I like about him is really his background. He has his own gym. How cool is that to have his own gym in
Yeah.
the background and have his podcast? So, Brian, thank you so much for being here and being on the show. I really appreciate it. So, this is going to be really a really awesome episode. So, thank you for being
Yes.
here.
Vincent, thanks so much for having me on. And I look forward to adding a lot of value, telling some stories, and getting people energized to take some action about their health and better their life overall.
Absolutely. So, Brian, again, thank you so much for being here. So, can you explain or share with us in a nutshell who you are and what you do?
Yeah, we'll go with the 20-second version. I can definitely elaborate on that. But married my high school sweetheart. We are 19 years in. We have 4 kids, they're all teenagers, I guess, but two in high school, two in middle school, 3 boys and a girl, 15 to 10. My oldest is driving now, Levi Everett, Maxwell, and Emmeline. And we love to travel. We've actually visited all 50 states. We're working on all 7 continents. My wife is a travel advisor by her own business and all. We just got back from a 2 week cruise. So there's some fun, unique things about who I am as a person, but on the actual, say, business front or what I do for a living and providing for all this travel and all the things that go on in the everyday is I'm just basically a health coach. I work with people, specifically more men, about their empowering themselves to lose 20 plus pounds, to get them into great shape, to being a man in their 40s with stacked responsibilities. We see the challenges of just putting yourself a workout in the week can be overwhelming with all the things you have to do. And taking care of yourself should be on that higher part of that priority list to be able to manage what's going on. The more energy and focus you have, then you can put it on things that matter. And oftentimes people are overweight and they're worn down by their physical uh, just their physical weight. If you're carrying an extra 30 pounds around, that weighs on you literally and figuratively. So I run the Call to Rise, a 100-day men's program that's a weight loss, fat loss, body transformation program designed to help strengthen and build a body, but also do it with other guys that are like-minded. So we have this really cohesive unit that really powers us through and not only do the things, but really commit to doing it. So
And the first question that comes up to me, what was the reason that you got so inspired to help men in their journey in losing weight and feeling fit?
as a man in my 40s, I have a very few amount of friends and actual close relationships. Why? Because my family is one of my most important areas of focus, and then my business and helping my clients to actually reach their body goals, their health goals, and make them sustainable. As I connect with men, I found that I have 4 close friends. I have Dan, who's a high school buddy of mine. I see pretty regularly. Leo's a high school buddy. Uh, we have Chris and then Andy, and those guys came a little bit later, but we all are connected through fitness. And that provides us a bond to be able to stay connected, to stay strong, empowered, energetic, youthful, whatever you want to say there. And we're all juggling multiple kids. Out of those, out of all five of us, you have three kids is the least amount to enter that club. It's three, four, or more. With Leo has more than that. And understanding that fitness has connected us, I find that a lot of men don't even have that. Owning gyms in the past, doing remote health nutrition coaching for the last 12 plus years. I've had thousands of conversations with men and women, and finding that when they get to this age, just middle life, we have that midlife crisis. We can either go into buying a fancy car, a house, or we can take care of our health. And the call to rise is really a catalyst to be able to do that. The health side, at least.
And why is it so important for not just for men, but for everybody to really to start to take care of your body? Because I think a lot of people are just feel like it's not important. We just focus on the
Right.
mental health, we just focus on a career, and the body will do its thing. But I feel like now I'm also getting in my 40s. I need to take better care of it because I can I cannot take that much sugar in the past, or I cannot drink as much
Right.
alcohol in the past, or whatever. So what do you feel is really important for when you start like reaching your 40s to start, what do you feel like is important to do? Where do
Yeah.
you begin to really change that? Because like I said, when you reach your 40s, your body's going to change.
Yes, we're slowly turning into dust, one day at
Yeah.
a time, ultimately, right? At the end of the day, and we want this life to be a full go, full of energy, full of. I love living in anticipation. I look forward to what comes next in my life. I try to have a lot of things on the calendar that are exciting, and I can look forward to those. We have many problems in our lives. That's just the human condition. We all are having problems, 99 problems. And then once you have a health problem, you only have one problem, right? And everything gets funneled into that. And the way at which our society is living now, obesity is crazy. Is 30-40% of Americans are overweight or obese. It's worldwide. I see it everywhere. I've actually been to many countries, and sweet, convenient, fast food and high calorie packages are everywhere. It's getting people to just not be healthy on multiple levels. And when we get further in life, I'm really glad that you have a successful career and you're retired, but now you have health issues, and all that time, effort, energy that you've spent and even saved up, say retirement, you're spending focused on a disease, on a body that's not working, on the impact that has to those people close to you. Get diabetes, and let me know how your spouse has to interact with you now, or your kids. Oh, my dad, he's got diabetes, he can't do XYZ as a result. That challenges what life could look like to what the reality of life is.
And what can you say about sugar and how dangerous it is? Because I've learned that once you consume sugar, it's just as crazy as when you take drugs. I was really
Yes.
shocked one day. Once I saw a picture of somebody taking sugar, and his brain was lighting up like a candle or like a Christmas tree. And the
Yeah.
body is getting so used to it, so the test, but also it stores the sugar, the fat. So you get a lot of fat, so it's really interesting. Can you talk a little bit more about the sugars and what it does with the body?
Yeah, definitely. Sugar is an epidemic in and of itself. It's cheap, it's accessible, it's easy to replenish, and very easily marketable. And you can make a lot of money on it. Capitalism at its best. Right? But we're turning it against ourselves. When you eat sugar or a simple carbohydrate, your blood sugar goes up. Your body releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin can be a good thing if used properly, raising your insulin blood sugar levels and having insulin take that extra carbohydrate and energy and store it into your muscles. That's a good thing. But if you haven't moved at all, that increase in blood sugar gets stored into body fat. And if we're always having cheap, accessible food that has sugar and simple carbs in it, and it's readily available and it's delicious, and you had a long day and you're busy and you're tired and you don't want to cook and you just want to order out or just grab whatever, those simple carbs are going to be there to save you and get some food in you at that point, but it's not going to actually nourish you and not going to give you the type of energy that you're looking for. It's going to give you the energy that sticks to your waistline over time, and that's not helpful. We can go to the gas station, convenience store, that walk-in shop, whatever, and we can go buy hundreds of thousands of calories in that one store, and it's all simple, accessible sugar. And that's the challenge that we have. Tastes really good, people love it, and they eat too much of it.
But it's also over accessed. When they say on the packs, this amount of sugar, well, in truth, there's so much more sugar and salt,
Yes.
and
Yep.
it's really dangerous as well, right? If you consume too much sugar.
Yeah, yeah. Oftentimes, if you are not literate on how to read a nutrition label, you look at it and you take it for face value. What does that mean? That means that you see, oh, it has 180 calories in it, but there's actually 5 servings in there. I should have made it easier math. Let's say 200 for easy math. 200 times 5 is 1,000 calories are in this package. And that would have potentially 300 plus carbs and almost equally the amount of sugar, depending on what the substance was. And lots of fat, usually, too, because it's sugar, fat, sodium, and when those things and flour, when those four combined units get together, that's a really tasty, enjoyable experience for a human being. And we talked about it, we mentioned that I think we both did this in unison. It's just the mind lighting up. They talk about sugar being very related to cocaine in a sense of how it impacts the mind, and the mind is looking for those dopamine hits, those that boom, that excitement, that energy, whether it's from food or from distraction from our cell phones, and marketing is all this is happening to us all the time.
Yeah, I agree. It's everywhere you go. Also, when you go to a store, they release some smell, some cookie smell, and then it triggers you to buy cookies or triggers to buy you something else. And also how the store is organized. They're really
Oh,
smart. They really the
yep,
psychology in the store, how
yep.
to set it up and how to go from the next place to the other one. It's so smartly designed, and they
It's
try
big
to
business.
manipulate you exactly. They try to manipulate you to buy stuff that you don't want or don't need.
Yep.
It's mind blowing. I've also did some research about it. I've seen it with myself, and it's like, damn, the time and the money they put for you to
Yes.
buy their stuff. It's insane, and also with
I
the
was like
sugars
saying
and
this,
everything.
you'd be familiar, a lot of people are familiar with this slogan. They're great. Who is that? That's Tony the Tiger has said, they're great. Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, my whole life. They probably spent $1 billion on that advertising and that product placement in the store because they pay to put things in certain spots in the grocery store to make sure that they know where you're looking, right? This is the eye height is where the biggest returns are. The top and the bottom aren't. And even I bet you that all the cameras that are in are monitoring behaviors of humans and how long they're spending in a grocery store, where they're spending it at. If we're doing that to, say, websites with heat maps and where people put their clicker, the mouse pointer, I bet you they're doing it in grocery stores, and they have that to a science, a significant amount of data. I'm just thinking outside. I've never actually thought of this, but it would make total sense that they're tracking your behaviors in the store as well, even past coupons and past all that other stuff.
Yeah, just so they can sell you more.
Yes. At the end of the
And
day, yes.
yeah, it's funny when you go to the grocery just to buy some just or like butter, you come back with a bag full of chips and cookies, and it's insane.
Ah, yes. Yeah, I didn't even want to buy those, and here they are in my cart.
Exactly. So Brian, I'm loving this part already. So what can you also share about energy drinks? Because I see a lot of teenagers and also
Ah, yes.
adults drinking that stuff, and it's so toxic, it's so bad. So can you share with me and with the audience
Yes.
why they should leave that stuff in the shelf and never buy it?
Right. Number one is you have to understand, are there calories or not? Some of the energy drinks are purposely, they have sugar in them. That's one of the main energy sources. Go back in the day of the 1950s and you'll hear the Gatorade story. The reason that Gatorade gave those football players in Florida the energy they needed because they had sugar in it, and it gave them more energy to keep the blood sugar levels up, keep more muscle glycogen in their muscles, allowing them to perform in the fourth quarter where the other team didn't have that. And we know sport nutrition 101, that's why they were so successful, is that they had additional carbohydrates put in. Now, energy drinks, we got to look at the label to see the 0 calorie ones. We want to know how much caffeine is in it, and then some of the other taurine and the B vitamins and all these things. When if done in a way that's responsible, maybe one every so often could work. But oftentimes you always get the twofer deals at the gas station. It's always two for this amount, purposely getting you to buy two of them because it's a better deal, but you're spending more money because of the pricing manipulation. And then they usually drink both. And if you get the right type of energy drink, they could have 300 milligrams of caffeine in one. Bang, Rain, Monster, not so much, but there's plenty of them on the market that are so hopped up on caffeine. The human tolerance is roughly about 400 amount of milligrams of caffeine that the body should be able to tolerate in a day. And if you have two of those, because it tastes good and it's easy to drink, that's 600. And if you do that repeatedly, we're having this huge amount of overstimulation happening in the body. Anything outside of moderation could kill you. Take caffeine powder, and if you do too much of it, you could die. I don't have the stats off the top of my head of how much of that would actually do. It'd probably be unethical to have a specific number or do any types of trials on that, right? But the point being is we know that too much spinach could kill you, but you probably have to eat a truckload to get there where the chemical compounds of that plant would override your body and it wouldn't go well. Too much water, right? We can't do hypernatremia. We have to make sure we drink even that we need to make sure we have the appropriate amount of water to the amount of effort that we're doing. That'd be a good example. Energy drink, possibly one. I'm always going to go for a 0 calorie one that's going to have more 125 milligrams. Or if I do get one that is 300, I'm going to turn it into two different servings, not at one time.
Okay, yeah, what comes in my mind is I never drink coffee. Well, I drink coffee, but
I got
it's
some coffee
been
here in my Ninja Turtle cup because I
cool.
have kids and I was born in the 80s, Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I've watched the show too, so I can relate.
But
But what
coffee.
I wanted, but what I say is, once I stopped drinking coffee, I was more clear, I was more focused, and I was wow, I was feeling so much better because I hear people say, I don't blame them or don't judge them, but I hear people say, oh, when I wake up, I need to drink some coffee.
Right.
And I feel like I don't need any coffee and I feel fine.
There's
So
a
I
number of
think,
things I think that fall into that is their sleep habits and their behavior. They call it sleep hygiene. Are you getting actual enough rest? If you aren't getting enough rest, then you're going to lean into stimulation of some form. And coffee, having it to be a crux probably isn't the best way to go about it. Like if I don't drink my coffee, I can't operate in a day. That doesn't make a lot of sense. You're attached to the substance there. I will go on caffeine breaks and not drink for a week or two at a time. And guess what? My body operates like normal. I have good energy because I eat well too. And that would be the other thing. Or I move my body enough. When I lay down, I'm actually tired and I get a good quality sleep at night.
absolutely, I agree. It's really your lifestyle, your habit, and also when you said what you consume, it's also your phone and scrolling. Because I learned if you go to bed with your phone scrolling, it's also you put so much stress on the brain, and you can be tired the next day because of the scrolling. Because you don't, your brain needs to process so much information. So I feel like if people would understand themselves and the way they live and their habits, I feel like they can have a better lifestyle. So I'm so happy and grateful that you're here, Brian, that you can share more about it. So I want to jump from there to the training and
Okay.
the exercises and why it's so important to start hitting the gym. Also, like you said, just move your body. You can go for a walk, but I've noticed many years when I was in a relationship and I broke up with her, I felt so bad and I felt the need to go to the gym. And once I went there, I felt so much better. I felt empowering. I felt really
Yeah.
good. So why is it important that people feel like stressed or depressed or they're not happy how the way they look, that they need to start working out on themselves and also start taking better care of themselves and also start eating healthy?
Right. It reminds me of John, a story of a client that I have. John may or may not be his real name, but not sharing his last name. So, with John, he lives in the southwest US. He loves to cycle, but he found himself around age of 60, overweight by 40 plus pounds. That's weighing on him. Right? Just even biking around the block takes a lot more effort, energy, and attitude to get out the door to do that. Plus the other areas of his life that it was impacting as well. Speaking of what we were just speaking about, sleeping and scrolling, and one of the conversations that we've had many. I've worked with him for over a year now, still working with John. We have to talk about, say, the phone rituals. I just wanted to touch base on that. I got him to a point where he decided that this would be a good idea to not scroll because he was wasting a lot of time. People waste time when they're distracted and they are going over their bedtime routine. It's a real thing, right? They will just keep scrolling and just watch another episode because every single episode's designed in a way to get you to want to watch the next one. It's that dopamine hit. John and I, we agreed that he would place his phone across the room. And if he does that, then he gets off the phone at a reasonable time. He's not scrolling right up until he falls asleep and the phone hits him on his face. He's able to bring down those brain waves and that that almost is an anxiety response to some of the content that you could get put. It's just real fast and it's like in your face and it's quick and it changes. We decided to put that across the room. And then he obviously is focusing on nutrition, which we'll talk about at some point. But the exercise, by him getting active rest and being really mindful of putting down the phone and doing better sleep habit routine, then he can get enough sleep, which then he can go bike. He loves biking. And he has a personal trainer too, but he only goes once a week with that person. With John, we've been able to get him to bike farther, faster. He's cycling up Mount Lemon with a group, and he's going farther and farther every single weekend, and he's really excited to summit that mountain because John is focused on taking better care of himself, and because we have a plan around doing a little bit more for him with his physical exercise, he's feeling great. He's down over 40 pounds. We're about 5 to 10 pounds away from his actual goal weight. But that's through just thousands of choices that move him toward a better health. When we talk about fitness, we just have to talk about what's the next best thing for someone to do. If they love the gym, great. Let's get consistent with 3, maybe 4 days in the gym. If they love cycling, great. Let's make sure we're cycling a certain mileage per week or a time per week to quantify how much more we can do. And of course, there's a point at which this is a good amount to do, and that's where we end up settling. All right, great. I'm going to work out 3 to 4 days in the gym, and I'm going to do some basic strength training and do some cardio after. Cool. If that's the program, works great. Yes. I had a guy sign up just the other day. He loves doing power yoga. Awesome. I'm not going to tell him to go to the gym first. I'm going to tell him to go to another power yoga class. When we looked at his consistency, because we had data, he had how many check-ins on the app that he did. He did 40 in the last year. That's less than one a week. If I can get this guy just to do two the next 2 weeks, he's already tripled his productivity in terms of exercise. And I'm going to have him wear his Apple Watch so that he can pay attention and start seeing how much movement he's doing. And as soon as we have some data and awareness around what he's actually up to doing, then we can then start making a path forward.
And how? What was the results
The results
after doing
of
that?
John, he's down 40. He's under 180 pounds now from over 220. And
Wow.
the other gentleman just started. He doesn't have a lot of weight to lose, but he's 50. His name, we'll call him Dan. And Dan is seeing a new job of the last 2+ years and a school administration job, sitting, more stress. His wife has a busy corporate job too, and they enjoy eating out, and there's less movement in their day to day because of the constraints of life. And then we have eating out, and then Dan also eats out at lunch occasionally throughout the week. And we talked, and he said, Ryan, I know I need to change some things. And I always felt packing a lunch was just a waste of time, or I had to spend so much more time doing it. You got me to pause and think, wow, actually, I went to go out to eat and the guy canceled on me. That cost me 45 minutes of I was going to go out. I had plans to do it. I don't have food on me. I now have to abort plans and figure something else out. And I'm going to go DoorDash and wait for that. And 45 minutes later, he has food. Whereas, of course, we can eat out with people, and those things happen. It's just part of reality of work situation and all. But if he had a lunch with him, then 5 minutes to pack a sandwich, some fruit, some vegetables, maybe some trail mix, some mixed nuts or something. That's a sustainable everyday life. That's about everyday meal for lunch. That could be about 500-ish calories, and he could pack in his favorite lunchbox that he could take to work every day. 5 minutes pack, 5 minutes to eat, and then he's back to being productive. And it's something enough good quality food that'll hold him over for another couple hours until he goes to eat again, which would be, say, dinner.
It's really interesting because I wanted to make the jump with that, with the habits and also the food packages and everything, because I feel like a lot of people think that's a lot of work to take care of yourself. It's a lot of work to
Yes.
go to the store. It's a lot of
It's
work,
expensive.
expensive. So, what can you advise for people that are listening and they want to take better care of themselves and also start creating better habits with the food? Because a lot of people say, well, I don't have time, or I'm too busy, or something like that. So, What steps can people take for them to start moving themselves in the direction of eating more healthy?
Yes. All of the experiences we have in life are skill driven. Even just putting on this podcast requires a certain level of skill and knowledge to be able to put it on. Right, Vincent? You would totally agree. As you've been doing this for a
Absolutely,
while,
yeah.
there's a lot of time, there's a lot of energy, there's been a lot of research. It's a skill to be able to produce it to the quality that you want it to be at. Now, certainly you could go and be a big, you could blow yourself up if you wanted to, but then there's a certain more amount of skill and time and energy and effort that you got to put and money you got to put into it to get it to develop into that level. Say you're a name brand on YouTube and everyone watches your podcast every week, every day. Same thing with cooking or exercising. It's just a skill. People are like, "Oh, I know how to work out at the gym." I promise you, everything that you do in the day is going to be way more challenging than figuring out how to work out on a machine and do some exercise. So you push the weight and you put it down. It's pretty basic. Cooking is pretty basic too. We heat food up, we get it to a temperature, and we throw some seasoning or cook it in a way that makes it enjoyable, and we put it on a dish and eat it. That's it. But the confines and the challenges around better time management, do we have the resources? Say, did we go to the grocery store? Do we know how to walk and shop in the grocery store? That is a skill. And those big brand marketers are betting that you don't have that skill. And you go in and you pay the extra money for the thing that you didn't need. And that doesn't help you stay healthy. And therefore, hey, eating healthier is more expensive, but I've had one person, I remember his very first session. We had our call. This was a couple years ago. He had our call. He went to the grocery store. He reported back he saved over $100. Holy moly, I'm going to pay for myself here. Holy cow. What did he do? He stopped buying the things that just didn't serve him, that were the things that were taking him away from his goal. We have to develop skills around knowing what types of food to put in our bodies. We have to develop skills around how to cook and prepare those. It doesn't have to be hard. I'm not Emeril Lagasse over here when I make my meals. I put foods in a pattern around picking some protein, picking some vegetables and or fruit, picking some starchy carbs, maybe a healthy fat, and I put them in a reasonable portion on my plate that gives me enough energy until I need to eat again, which is usually for most humans every 3 to 5 hours of time where they'll be able to get to the next time that they're going to eat again. Most humans, if they go past 5 hours, Vincent, tell me, you've been busy all day. One, you had a technical difficulty on this show. You had to re-record it with the person. Then you had 8 other things booked, and you hadn't eaten all day. When you come up for air out of that crazy busy time in your day, what are you gonna pick? What are you gonna choose?
The first thing I'm
The first
gonna,
thing. Exactly.
if I have something in the fridge, I will get that. If not, I'm not gonna go cooking because I'm too tired, and so I get something or I order something.
Exactly. And then you go DoorDash, and that's what we have, or Uber Eats or whatever, and you're paying an extra 10 plus dollars for lukewarm food by the time it shows up in 25 to 30 minutes, which is a reasonable amount of time that you can make a really healthy meal. And you could do it for half the cost, especially that extra little the little buffer that they put in for tips, fees, and extras on top of it. And I love it when someone says, I paid $40 for a salad. Holy moly, you could have had salad for a week if you would have
Yeah,
just known to go to the grocery store and pick out the right types of food. Yeah, another thing about cooking preparation is understanding that I like this phrase that I say fresh is better than frozen, is better than canned, is better than none. So we can buy food in a number of different ways that allow you to be able to have access to different food choices at different times in the week to be able to still provide a quality experience around food. We want the food to taste good. You don't have to eat bland food to accomplish your health goals. I promise you. But most people, I'm going on a diet. I need to lose weight. I need to cleanse. And they buy a bunch of fresh fruit and vegetables that they don't know how to prepare. And they spend $100 on it. And then it goes to waste because they're not excited about it. And they don't know how to turn this ball of onion into a delicious sauteed experience that goes into some other different food as well. Sauteed peppers and onions with a grilled chicken breast with some cilantro and lime with rice. That could be a really good experience if you realize just how to cook. And lastly, I'll throw this and turn it back over to you. Is you can find this out. It's not rocket science. It's not hard. We used to have to have cable and tune into the Food Network, but you literally can look at it on TikTok, on YouTube, on Instagram. People are showing you how they're putting together healthy foods and doing it in a way that's easy to understand and accessible to be able to develop. And my job is I just string those things together in a way that someone actually does them.
You're already making me hungry, Brian. That is sounds really good. But what I want to share with this is I feel like a lot of people they think it's too much time and it's too
Yeah,
much effort. But if you really prepare it well and you have dates or days that you want to have everything prepared and done, you just mix it together, you bake it or fry it or whatever, and it's done. It's all about being smart. You can also do it in a
yes.
weekend. If you can prepare everything and you put it in how to say it
Containers
in
if you
English,
wanted to. Yeah,
and you put it in the freezer. And once you got home, you open it, you put it out of the freezer, and you eat it. So
yep,
it doesn't have to be like this overwhelming
right, right.
journey of doing it. But I feel like a lot of people they don't want to. They don't want to learn. They don't want to understand what is
Yep.
good for them.
They're too busy being distracted by social media, for example.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have any time. Wait, what do you do with the 30 minutes before you went to bed? Oh, I scrolled, my thumb scrolled for miles. Right. And we all as humans, we waste time. I'm a pretty productive person. I've got a lot of energy, but I also have four kids. I have a wife. I've got five animals. They were all emotional support pets through COVID, four cats and a dog. I've got a lot of responsibility, a lot of distractions that show up. I'm constantly trying to find out what's simple and easy for me to do for myself. But by default, every single person I've ever worked with is busy looking for the same thing. They just don't have a level of understanding or knowledge or skill set to understand how to cook a really tasty meal in a way that's enjoyable and doesn't take a lot of time. We also have to step back. You're either going to take care of yourself or you're going to take care of your health problems later on. Which one do you think is going to be more costly? You sitting down for 15, 20 minutes and doing some food prep today? Or you spending years in an assisted living home paying three times what you used to pay for your mortgage to get taken care of and have someone wipe your butt, right? And we just don't see it because we're so much in the present now, but that's happening a lot with people. They are paying exponentially amount more money and time and sadness to not have good health. So if we could just slow down and start to understand and assess are you what you're in control of every choice that you make. What's the next simplest, easy thing? Okay, you don't know how to cook a chicken breast. Okay, great. Well, I'll go through this with you and I do it with my clients. We can buy frozen uncooked chicken, refrigerated uncooked chicken, frozen cooked chicken, refrigerated cooked chicken, rotisserie chicken, chicken in a can, chicken in a pouch, chicken jerky, chicken deli meat. There's 9 different ways I just talked about finding chicken, right? 9 different ways. How many of those do you have to actually cook and prepare? 2 of them. The frozen uncooked and the refrigerated uncooked. Those are the only 2 out of those 9. So there's 7 other ways that you can find chicken one way or another to be enjoyable. Maybe it's just a rotisserie chicken. It's already done. You can grab it. You go to the grocery store, grab a rotisserie chicken, grab a pepper, grab a tomato, maybe grab a piece of fruit, mango. You can dice that up all together, and a potato you can throw in the microwave. You have yourself a really healthy, fast meal in a couple minutes there.
What I also would like to add, because you said just throw it in the microwave, but I heard once you put something in the microwave, it the healthy nutrition dies because of the frequencies and radiation of the machine. So
Eh,
yeah,
we'd have to one. We'd look to on anything. You think of Netflix documentaries, or the thing that you heard or saw, or the science, or someone told me, or whatever. We always have to go find what's the source. Okay, is there actual scientific data that does say that microwaving does denature the food and make it less valuable? Right? So we have to understand that. And then at what point in the microwaving process do we need to cook something for it to lose its value of nutrition? Okay. How many meals are
yeah,
you going
makes
to eat in a
sense.
week that are cooked in the microwave? Is it better for you or not to have microwaved cooked food that's not as nutritious, but it's convenient and it's healthy? Maybe we don't want to just do a TV dinner versus buying the takeaway order through DoorDash and have it delivered? Which one would be healthier for you? Which one would be a better option for you to choose? Which one do you think?
Yeah, that's true.
Right.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, I've been also like not a professional, but I also learn about frequencies and
Sure.
radiation and everything. So I'm just, I like to say
Right.
I'm just being careful.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
don't put
I
everything in the microwave.
100%. And if that bothers you, right? If I had a client that said, Brian, I really don't want to use the microwave. Okay, we're not using a microwave. What else can we do to create fast food, delicious, healthy food fast? There you go. No microwave, but we can use a pot, we can use a pan, we can use a grill, we can use the oven, an air fryer. All these things don't have electric components to it. And we could use those ways to cook and prepare food. But then we have to get into a system and a process around doing some form of preparation. Anything in life, if you want to excel at, we again go back to the podcast example for you, Vincent. There's been a significant amount of preparation and planning and effort and energy that you have to set aside in your day to day to put this on and make it valuable for you to continue doing, for the people listening, to find the guests that can add value to your customers. I'm leveraging that analogy of, if I want to take care of myself, I have to put effort in. I have to move my body. I have to do I want to drink this? This is my water jug. So I drink my water and I sip my coffee out of my turtle's cup. But do I want to drink almost 3 of these a day to get a gallon of water? Not really. It's not the first priority in my day. Do I like peeing all the time? Not necessarily. But if I want to look and feel healthy and live longer, or increase my likeliness that I'll live longer, we know that if humans drink at least half your body in ounces of water or more, you're going to be less dehydrated. And our bodies operate off water. You don't want to be running around with, beef jerky in your calf, because you're not going to be able to move very far. But if you're hydrated, then you have that, say, filet mignon in your muscles, and it's pliable and it bends and it functions properly, and then you're going to have a higher quality of life because you can go do things without having to be slowed down because your body just isn't up to speed or up to pace.
That's really good advice. That's really, really good advice. So
So I don't want to drink 3 of these, but I
yeah,
will open this up and drink some, and I can do it. And again, we go back to the microwave. If we don't want to drink just water, we can do it with the flavor drops. We can do it with sparkling water. We can do it with flavored water. We can do tea. We can do all sorts of things to make water more enjoyable. It just depends on your level of comfort around putting a little squirty thing in there. And if that's okay with you, then great. That can flavor this whole 40 ounce in that much of a squirt. I don't have to go, psh, I just literally go, psh, and I'm good to have this whole 40 ounce of water to taste better, to make it easier for me to consume all of this 40 ounces and make my sure that I'm staying hydrated as opposed to just drinking plain water. Some people can do it. I do it, mm, and it just is. But then other people can't. And by doing the flavored water, is a better position for them to be in, or using the microwave is a better spot to put them in to make a better choice that supports their health goals and makes it more likely that they're going to do the thing in the first place rather than, oh, I don't like plain water and just never drink water.
Yeah, that's really great, the advice. And what
Cheers.
I yeah, cheers, Brian. So what I want to add with this is I think when people are want to make a change, they're making it blunt. They're not having fun
Oh,
with the cooking.
yes.
They're not having fun with
Right.
experimenting with their food
Yep.
or trying something new, or with the water, like you mentioned, you put something in. I recommend just have some lemon or a
Yeah.
cucumber or whatever, just some
Yeah.
natural things from the grocery or bio.
Blueberries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Just drop some
It's so
strawberries in the
simple.
liquid. It'll be good. It'll taste
Yeah,
good.
and
It'll
it's
be
so
better than plain
simple.
water. Yeah.
Exactly. So I feel
Uh-huh.
like people are just like are closed off, and it's like, okay, I can only drink water, I can
Right.
only have this certain
Correct.
food and nothing else. But they just don't expand. They're just not aware that they have a lot of
Right.
potential and experimenting and do new cool things for themselves. But they're so caught up with the life, and they're not even aware of that there's
Hmm.
something else that they can do, right?
Right. Yeah, for even for what I'm doing now, the longest time I would post and on my social medias to gain following and reach and all that, I wouldn't get anything back. And I just find that it was not fun. It was a blunt way to go do it. I got to post every single day or multiple. If you listen to all the big names, you have to post 8 times a day and reels and carousels and selfies and static images and all these things. Holy moly, I've got a life, and it wasn't fun. But what brings me here is that this is way more fun for me. I can talk, I can engage with you, I can be with a living person and not just putting something on my phone and to put out into the world again. Just another piece of content, but this can add value to someone's life. And this is way more fun for me as a creator myself to attract more of the people that I'm looking to help and add value to their life. Because I've seen it so many times. The impact.
I agree. The
Make
same
it
was for
fun.
me. Yeah, I agree totally with you what you're saying, because once I started with this podcast, I was so focused on getting views, so focused
Right.
on getting the content out and making everything perfect, and I was losing the joy. I was so
Right.
focused on the achievement, on
Right.
getting something in return, and I wasn't focusing on the message. I wasn't focusing on helping people. I was only focused on making money and focusing
Right.
on the views. And I got burned out. I got really
Right.
burned out. Just, I couldn't take it anymore. I believed if I put so much effort in it, people will watch it. But you need to be mindful of the algorithm. You need to be mindful of your target
Oh, there's
audience,
so
all of
many,
this stuff. There's so
so
many
many
things
layers
that you
to
need.
it. Some of it's just luck. You either came
Also,
at the
that,
right
yeah.
time or you said something and it clicked, and next thing you know, you went viral or whatever. But even I know the importance of this, and you can appreciate it, is you're going about this in a way that you're acquiring skills, knowledge, experience, and being able to put on a show that delivers value, and that in and of itself just takes time. You're not hoping on going viral, although it might be nice, but also the cost of going viral might attract a bunch of people that aren't your ideal person anyways, and so you gained a bunch of followers and a bunch of people unsubscribe from you because they whatever viral clip isn't actually what you're actually about, is just this tiny little piece of Vincent and what he does that caught wind and caught fire, but then it burns out. Same thing here. It's just working on connecting with people and having fun doing it and making cooking fun, to making
Yeah,
taking care of yourself and being self-responsible fun.
exactly. And that's what life is about, having fun with the
Yes.
things that you're doing, having fun with cooking, having fun with your family. Life
Yes.
can be so stressful, and we're just losing the fun of creating and having fun in our lives. So, Brian, again, thank you so much. I really
Yeah.
enjoyed this conversation. You have so much value, you have so much insight, and it's really awesome.
Thank
And
you.
I want to make this jump towards burnout because I feel like
Yes.
a lot of people are overlooking it,
Oh yeah.
or they hiding it, or they feel like there's nothing wrong with them, but they on the
Hiding is
urge
a good
of
way to put it.
go, yeah, hiding it, and they're just so close to a burnout. And I've been close to myself because of the podcast, with my with
Right.
this, I always say my, but with the traumas that I had to heal, I wanted to do so much. I was just overworking myself, and I barely collapsed, and I felt my body was not taking it anymore. So I said, "Stop. I need to stop now. I need to go back, take a look at myself. What can I change? What can I do?" Well, Brian, I was this close to fully collapse. So I really want to go there and
Yeah, let's
discuss
do
with
it.
you the downside of a burnout and how to recognize it.
Oftentimes I have people raise their hand and reach out to me, not because they're in the best shape of their life. Brian, I'm in great health. I want to keep going. And prevent any prevention is the cure. That's what it's all about. Is prevention is the cure. Take care of yourself and you'll have less issues. But someone raises their hand and then all of a sudden years of experiencing something, years of having a chronic health issue, years of being 20, 30 pounds overweight, years of not feeling confident when they look at themselves, put on clothes, relate to their partner, whether it's just engagement or intimacy, years of socially isolating themselves because they don't feel good about the person that they're presenting out into the public. And so they just hide. Burnout's a real thing. And also comparison. When we compare it to other people, then burnout becomes even more likely. Vincent, why aren't you Alex Hormozy? He's a guy that I follow a lot. And it's because Alex Hormozy he's got a different mission in life. His focus is different than what yours is or what mine is, and that's okay. And he even will say it too. Don't be like me. You'll be like yourself, but here's ways to make sure that you can be more successful. Let's grab on a couple of these underlying principles of what makes a successful human being, experience fun, enjoy, not burnout in their life. Stress is at all-time high, distractions at an all-time high, being interrupted, disrupted, not getting quality time with people that are close to you, working longer than you want to or should ever, having longer work days back to back to back. I can't tell you how many people just they're working 10, 12 hours a day in a job they don't like. And they're stressed out when they go home. That's not a way to live. It's not a way to experience what this life has. And you get to go on one vacation a year for a week, and that's it. Rinse and repeat. I heard it somewhere. Is you A lot of people live the same 6 month cycle. You have your cold month cycle and you have your warm month cycle, and that's it. And that's all you do for the whole life. You go to that one beach spot in June or July, and you hang out there in a beach house for a week. And if you love beach houses, great. And if that's a great time for you and family to connect, great. I'm not saying that's wrong, but the undertone of you show up and you do the same things that don't create don't empower you to be a better person, then you should do something different about it.
Absolutely. It's really taking responsibility and taking really responsibility of your life, because people think, well, I can keep going. I just let go of this little bit, and then I can still make the hours. But stress is the number one killer, and if you don't recognize what your body's telling you, then you're just gonna suffer. And
Yeah.
the worst thing that can happen, you can have a heart attack because you're
Yep.
overloading your body and you don't even recognize it because you
Right.
just put it on the side and you just keep going and going and going. And especially when you're having a business, right, Brian? When you're having a business, that you're being pulled on all sides. You need to take care
Uh,
of everything. So it's also good to hire people
always.
that do the stuff for you so that it can take the load off you so you can focus on the things that you need to do. That's
Right.
important. But we just want to have control over everything, control of our business, control over this, control over that. And we're not even having control of our own health.
Right.
We're just putting it on the side. And you see, like you said, people have like obesities and they just don't care. Sometimes I feel like, do you really care about your health? Do you really care about your lifestyle? And you see
Right.
people really like, yeah, I do, but they are afraid or they don't want to do something about, or they're ashamed or whatever it is. But
Yeah.
like you said, you have the power. You have the power to really change that. But I
Yep.
feel like a lot of people, they don't believe in themselves or they're not capable. What is
Right.
your opinion about that?
Again, we're humans. We're responsible for one person, yourself. You're responsible for yourself first and foremost. Then to those closest to you that you've claimed responsibility, a partner, a spouse, a boyfriend, girlfriend, kids, steps, halves, siblings. Then you go into your other parts of your family, your mom, your dad, the in-laws, and the extended family. That way, that's your nuclear, say, set of responsibility. And then you have your friend group. And one thing that I always remind people of, and we've heard this time and again, is the five people that you spend the most time with have the biggest influence on you. If you're going to a job, I have a client off the top of my head comes to mind, Bill, we'll call him. He goes to a job, he tells me I only have 4.5 more years of this. He doesn't like what he does. He makes a good living, it's afforded him a certain lifestyle, but he does not like it. He can't wait for days off. That's he is in a situation where he's looking for retirement to come from that position, right? Some sort of and a 401k and different things, and that's a really challenging spot to be in. But he also could just quit if he just didn't want to, because what if he works the extra 4.5 years and he doesn't make it to year 7, and he spends 2.5 years in retirement only to have lost the last 7 to the majority, what, 4.5 out of the 7 to the work and the lifestyle that doesn't feed him what he wants in life. I've seen when people take control of their health, take control of their bodies, and start doing self-care, the tremendous things they produce, the amount of confidence, the energy, the impact that they can create is limitless. It's to your own limit and capacity. That's what I would say. So you really have to pay attention to what is happening in your world and make specific choices to stay focused on what's the best, most important outcome for you to get you to your life goals.
100%. I totally agree. It's what I've seen with myself is really become more aware of my habits, of my behavior, of how my body's reacting to certain things, to stress, and also the mind. Because even though you feel good in your body, but if you're so stressed here and you just
Right?
overwork and you're thinking in overload, you don't know what to do, it's just chaotic. It's gonna be also affecting your body. It's also gonna affect your organs. So
Oh yeah.
also be mindful that it needs to be work and alignment together. So that's what I really wanted to share. And Brian, again, I really love to talk about these topics, and I've seen it with myself how stressful life can be, but especially if you don't take good care of yourself, it can be really, really
Uh,
challenging, and we don't want to go there.
everyone has money problems, right? We don't have enough. I think we can all agree,
It's
right?
never
Do you have
enough.
enough money, or are you happy with the amount of money that you make right now, right? And everyone say, yeah, if I could use an extra 10, 50, 100K a year, that'd be nice, right? But if we're sacrificing our our mental health, our emotional health, our the impact to experience that type of thing, we're always going to have this never enough experience. We're never going to be satisfied with the things that we have as well. That's really important to stay focused on the task at hand, that again go back to what's important in that act of self-responsibility for you.
100%. So, Brian, again, I'm gonna brain fuck. So, what I want to do now is really thank you again for being here. It was already amazing, and I want to go with you on a commercial. It's
Okay,
gonna take a few minutes, and then we'll be
perfect.
back. So, guys, I'm gonna go on a commercial. It's about gold and silver and how it can benefit you. So, we'll be right back.
Increasing expenses have caused us all a lot of pressure these days, and it's affecting even the wealthiest of people. Most have lost their sense of security, stability, and even hope for a strong financial future. The game plan of everyone in your cell phone has likely been disrupted or even hardcore stopped, and most are looking for a creative solution to regain financial momentum. Oftentimes, life's best solutions are the simplest. But first, a question. What is something most people think they should own but don't? Crypto, fine art, real estate? Nope. We are talking about real money. The kind kings and queens fought for and large institutions today buy in mass. We're talking about gold and silver, assets that provide confidence in tough financial situations. So the question is, do you own any? If you don't, you're not alone. Most people aren't maximizing the power of precious metals because it's just been too complicated. And even though they see advertisements about gold and silver daily, they don't really know who to trust. That is, until now. The bottom line is that buying gold and silver doesn't have to be complicated or scary. There's a simple, better way to accumulate assets and create financial peace, headache-free. And this very minute, a new community of average people are seeing above average results to the tune of tens of millions in assets over the last few years. This system is tested, it's simple, and it's not an experiment. To date, it's helped more than 80,000 people bring hope back into their lives. It's invitation only, and right now, this new community has accepted a challenge to give away as much free gold this year as possible. Curious? Learn how to get your free gold today. Check out the next step to get the details.
And we're back. Welcome
Yes.
back, everyone. So, Brian, like I said, the first hour it's been really like helpful, valuable. I've learned a lot from you also to change my own habits and also take better care of my own nutritions and also the food preps. And it's been like really, I've learned a lot. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
And I really want to jump more about the physical health because I
Yes.
think I've seen a lot of guys they go to the gym and they just pump. They just like
Yeah.
I just want to be strong, I just want to be healthy, but they pump so hard that they have problems. They have shoulder problems, they have knee problems. So I feel like there's a lot of guys they have a lot of ego but no brains and they just want to just look great for other people, not for themselves because they overdo it.
Mm.
So I feel like I want to go there more and just be aware of how you train, that you don't overdo it. Can you like share your routine or what you do also with your
Yeah.
clients?
Yeah, definitely. Simple question to ask yourself and share with everyone that asks me is, can I work out tomorrow? Very simple way to think and then go do. Right? Because if you overdo it, say you do so many bicep curls to grow those arms, you're gonna end up with T-Rex arms the next day. And you can't you can't, oh, this hurts, right? that's not productive. Now you can't bend your arms for a few days. You're not working out for a few days. Progressive overload is the number one tried true way to do it. If you're not as strong as you want to be, again, that's a skill that you can acquire of strength. There's protocols out there that you can do to acquire the strength that you're looking for. Usually it's a under 10 reps, many sets of under 10 reps, even 5 or 3 to 1 rep to be able to build that type of strength. And it's going to take a little time. If you can say only lift 100 pounds bench press and you want to do 225, it's going to take a little bit of time. It's going to take a lot of reps and sets to build your body up. To come into the gym and have the expectation that you can do it in a matter of 3 months, maybe. But if we say let go of the timeline and focus on the accomplishments that we have every single day of, hey, I added 2.5 pounds, I added 5 pounds to the bar today, that's the best approach to do it. Any person I ever work with, I want them to just move more than they did last week. Again, oftentimes people showing up on my doorstep in some of the worst health that they've ever been in. They just got diagnosed with diabetes. I literally had a guy call me from the hospital bed, that he had a heart attack. That's a bad spot to be in. We're not going to the gym anytime soon. He wasn't even released for about at least 6 weeks to be able from his doctor to go to the gym anyways. What did we do? We focused on walking and just moving his body to get it back in alignment of being active and not putting too much stress or strain on his body. Fortunately, it was a mild heart attack, but nonetheless, guy had a heart attack and he had to go to the hospital and was diagnosed with that. If the fastest, easy way to get strong is through weight training. And that's, again, a skill set that you can learn how to do. It's not hard. For me, I'm at 42 now. I've been trying to grow these biceps for a while. I'm all natural. I'm not taking any stacks or supplements or any of that stuff. I do take some creatine or some protein powder, but I'm not peptides or doing steroids or any of that silliness. What do I need to do? I need to make sure I can move tomorrow, function tomorrow, and not have joint issues. I need to be functional and be able to lift a bunch of weight off the ground, more than just my body weight. And I am consistent. I work out over in that corner. I have a board. You can't see it from here. It's behind the fan. That's right there. There's the fan. It's right behind it. But it has initials of who I worked out with. It has initial of what we did, and there's a certain amount of volume that I end up doing anyways. I particularly, personally, because I am in a healthy body weight, I don't need exercise to burn calories, in a sense, to control my body weight. I use exercise for strength. I'll do body splits. Sometimes I do upper body and lower body. I create a lot of variety in my workout routine. And it's very simple. I'll do 3, 4 exercises, possibly 5 at most, in a single session. Today, I did it with my 2 older boys, Levi and Everett. We had a circuit. We did back and legs. We did pull-ups, bicep curls with dumbbells, and some hex bar deadlifts. We did 4 sets of that in its entirety. Then we came back and did another 4 sets of 3 other exercises. We did a barbell upright row. We did some more curls, and we did some lunges. I did 8 sets total of excuse me, I did 4 sets of 3 exercises twice. What is that? 12 times 2 is 24 sets in my workout. I did it timed because I had my 2 boys with me, and we just kept moving. So we did 24 active minutes of exercise, and then about 45, 50 minutes. It was about 55 minutes with warm up as well. So we warmed up and then we got into it. So I had, out of the 50 minutes or so I worked out for roughly 35, 40 minutes of it, go, with some breaks in there as well. And that's what I did today. That's what I do a lot, especially in the summer. In the wintertime, it's more like lift heavy weights to build some muscle. Stay strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, what I wanted to add is also warm up, because I see a lot
Yep.
of people without warm up just hitting like the bench press or something like that. Don't
Yep.
do that, because it can damage your everything in your shoulder, or just warm
Straight
up.
shot to a sore shoulder quickly.
Absolutely. And also with the legs, just don't go for squats like right away. Just start slow, a little bit.
Mhm.
Just warm yourself up, because the next day you cannot walk. And I hate that. If you walk up the stair, down the stairs, you just
Yeah.
shaking, and it's like, no, it's not the
It's
right
not
way.
fun. It's definitely not
No.
fun. And I always tell people they don't get no brownie points with me when they overdo it, because now you can't walk. You can't
Yeah.
move. It hurts to move. We want, most importantly, the people that I'm working with generally don't like exercise, or they haven't found it to be important enough to put into their lives, and that's where they have gotten out of shape. I need to connect a positive experience with exercise in their brain and their body to want to do it more. We want to create a healthy, active lifestyle the farther they go, to keep them from being in the place where I met them, in a poor health situation. And by connecting that in their brain, oh, I've had people literally hate the gym to be gym rats, because we slowly progress over time, and they have acquired a taste, in a sense, or appreciation for what the gym has. And it doesn't even have to be a gym. Let's step back. We need to I like 10,000 steps as a minimum. We can run, we can hike, we can bike, we can row, we can do a group class, we can lift weights, we can do personal training, we can do more of a really challenging protocol of exercise as well. We can run marathons, we can do triathlons. There's so many different ways. Yoga, Pilates, Tai Chi. There's so many ways to express the body. You could just have a manual labor job and never exercise at all, because you move so freaking much in the day and carrying things. Be a farmer. They don't need to work out because they're running hay bales all day long. And those are 40, 50 plus pounds a pop. And they're just naturally strong, and they've been active all day. They don't need to work out. There's so many ways to get our body to move. The point being is that we're in the most sedentary our human culture has ever been, by default of convenience. And that's okay to a point. The modern culture of which we live has afforded me a lifestyle where I've been able to travel all over the US and now the world, because of access to airplanes and travel and the internet, to be able to string this together. Because if I was even born 20 or 30 years prior, I wouldn't have had the access to be able to do that. Or my wife should say, she's the mastermind behind all this. I'm along to make sure the kids stay in order and and all, and I carry the luggage. But we wouldn't have access to all that stuff. But because I take care of myself, and we take care of ourselves as a family, then we can go do these experiences and enjoy that. So kind of going full circle is, you have to find something you enjoy. We have to start in small incremental amounts and work our way up to really tapping into a lifestyle around activity, especially if you come from a point where you're overweight.
Yeah, I was just thinking, because it's really also for myself, because when you talk, I always look also back on myself and my health and my journey. And what really is important for me was, I need to take care of myself so I can take care of others. Because
Yes.
some people say like, "Ah, I just want to keep going." But if you're not feeling good, if you're not healthy, then you cannot take care of your family. Then you cannot take care of your business. And people, they are so focused and lost on, I want to keep going so I can take care of other people, or I can take care of my business. But if you, in the end of your life, and you just cannot move, you're just exhausted, you're burned out, you cannot do the things that you enjoy, then was it worth it to work 20 plus hours? No, it's not.
Probably not
So
at the end of the
probably
day.
not. And what can you do if your body doesn't function? Not much.
Yeah,
So
yeah. You
that's
went
why
from
we,
many life problems to one problem. Like, I can't move my body. That's a big problem. I can't wipe my butt.
exactly.
that's a really big problem.
Exactly. So what me and Brian discussed today is that we prevent making this. It's not mistakes, but it's being aware that you, when you're in a certain stage in your life, that you start to take better care of yourself because you're getting older. You're not going to move as good as you did in your 20s. Your body needs more rest. Your body needs more time to heal, stuff like that. So it's more awareness. And what can I do now to change, or what can I do now to have a better, healthier life? So I feel like that's really, really important. And I want to make the jump again, Brian. Thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah.
I want to make the jump towards your coaching and your clients because you're, if I'm correct, you're also helping dads.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and also
In
in
this long period of time, I've just started focusing a lot more on men because that's where I'm at in this point of my life.
it's good because I feel like again we're overlooking. We just think, oh, it's just gonna be a dad. We're just gonna have fun and that's it. But like you mentioned and I mentioned, you're gonna get older, so you need to be aware of. Maybe you need to make some changes or tweak, or you need to go more exercising or stuff like that. So, what
Let's
was
be
it so
honest, real
intrigued?
quick, Vincent.
Yeah,
Are you really that fun if you are like everyone just knows you to be the person that sits on the couch and just
like a
watches
potato.
football? Yeah, just a sack of potatoes sitting on the couch when you're at all family events, or when your kids are asking to be engaged with you, to go swim with you, to play on the playground, to roll on the floor, to bike, to throw the ball. And you can't throw more than 30, 40 yards because you don't have an arm because you haven't thrown in 30 plus years or something, or you can't get up off the ground. It takes you a minute because you have, unfortunately, that big of a belly that gets in the way of getting up. That's not fun. You're not living a fun life. You're just working and paying bills and sitting around.
And that's no life.
No.
No. So the jump that I want to make is what was the, because also you're a father and you see also a lot of resemblance with other men, but what was really the desire to really help dads? I know, I understand it's really to see them grow, to see them change and have a, but what was the drive? And was there also a part of vulnerability from yourself to them?
Yeah. Well, one, my father just hasn't played an active role in my life. In the beginning, divorce, a child of divorce, and my parents made their decisions. It is what it is. But my dad, I saw him every other weekend, and in high school, in middle school, high school, I felt connected and bonded. And as I got from high school into college, less bonded, less connected, less time. I just didn't really ever talk or speak to him. And I'm starting to grow my family. I am, I got married. I bought a house. I'm having my first son. I'm getting a real job in the actual and providing a living and all. And my dad's not there. And I've had to figure this out for myself over the last 20 plus years. Well, of course, with my wife, she's a bedrock for me. And I so appreciate Amber for calling me to be a better person, holding me to a higher standard, and not just letting me fall into just not knowing what to do or how to do it or any of that stuff. Having that as part of my history and story, and knowing that there are other people out there. um the I have four friends that are, say, we found each other through fitness. Two from high school that we were runners. One was through our daughters and their activity at school, and we connected and known this guy for a while, and we work out in this barn here now. And then another gentleman through my son at middle school, and we connect through running and some business stuff. And two of the five, me included, only have a mother and a father combination, a married combination, to help guide and be there. Whereas the other three of us don't have that. We're floating. And it's left to us to determine and decide what type of person are we going to be? What type of a man are we going to be? Are we going to be the let's get paid and laid type? Or are we going to be, there's a wide variety. I've chosen to be focus on family, focus on core friendships, and focus on creating value in the marketplace with what I do for a living and helping people help themselves through better health, better fitness, better nutrition, so that they can go do the important things that they need to do. So when we say that, I'm helping guys that know what to do but aren't doing it because they're so bogged down with the day-to-day responsibilities. And you're in your 40s as well, life it stacks responsibilities as you grow and get older, and therefore being able to relate to that person really well, to understand their day to day, understand what's happening in their brain, what keeps them up at night, what are the challenges they're facing. And oh, yeah, they're 20, 30, 40 pounds overweight. I can help that person really well, and I can command a version of themselves to rise above what they're currently showing the world. Let's get out of this overweight, out of shape, dad bod, whatever. And we don't need to be jacked, ripped. We don't need to be walking Superman, but we need to be healthy. We need to be happy, especially because males are disconnected. They don't have good relationships, or very few of them. They're not connected with they're not connecting with their family or children as much as they want to. And oftentimes because they have a busy day and they're so overwhelmed with those activities that they get home and they don't have any energy to play with the kids. And therefore they check out in that part of their life, and then they're making a they're investing less in the most important parts of their life, their family, their kids. That's what I'm about now. That's the where I want to spend the next 15 years, really double down, focus on, is helping men just be them best selves. And we'll start with their body to start, and then just work from there, better connection to those around them.
Thank you so much for sharing, Brian. I was really hooked to the story that you're sharing. And
Thank you.
what I like about what you do is you're giving fathers new life. You're giving them an opportunity to make something out of their lives, to
Yes.
not just be a couch potato and just watch life by, but really do something and really make a change. So when they're on the deathbed, they
No
can say to
regrets.
themselves, I did everything. I did everything in my power to
Yes.
see my life how I wanted to turn out it to be. I can see my family grow. I can see my children having grandchildren or stuff like that. So that's why I was so connected with your journey and with your message, because
Thank you.
it's so important. We think also when we're young, it's like living the life, having fun, but we also need to think about these moments, not like the midlife crisis, but what can we do right now so when we grow older, we can still enjoy the things in our when we're getting older. So I really respect you for
Thank you.
doing what you're doing and also helping men and fathers to lose weight and take care and take charge of their life and
Right.
make something out of it. So yeah, thank you so
Another
much.
thing there is oftentimes men default to that the happy wife, happy life type thing. I almost can guarantee to 1,000% that if you're in a healthier body that has energy and you're happier, you're going to connect with your wife more, and that experience or expression or whatnot is going to be, it's just not going to be part, is you're going to be bonded to that person. And we don't need another divorced couple with kids on the out in the world either. and we don't need that type of a cycle to continue to persevere over staying connected, tried and true to the foundation of the partnership that you had with even that. The what you should be is your MVP, your most valuable person in your world would be your partner, your spouse. And that's important to me, especially with 4 kids. Very important that I stay connected. And this whole program causes me in and of itself to stay at a high standard and keep thinking. Again, I always have to say this, I'm a human. I don't get it right all the time. I mess up even in the last day or two. Okay. I don't parent 100% to my best ability, right? I'm not Superman. I have my faults. I have my errors. I have my lack of parental father support or whatever that's subconsciously inside that I don't know any better in a sense. So, but I'm trying and I keep stepping up to the plate and swinging. So I just had to throw that out there that I've done a lot, I've experienced a lot. I've been doing this my whole life in terms of helping people better themselves, but I'm not perfect either. So I just want to throw that out there so that we're not walking away like, wow, Brian's so full of himself. Like I mess up plenty. I make bad choices that I even knew that I shouldn't make. It's part of being a human, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're just doing your best,
Yep.
and everybody's doing their best, and you don't have to like. You can always go for the achievement that you want and reach out the next level, but sometimes I feel okay. I'm doing the best that I can, and I'm moving forward, and that's the most important for me. Just keep moving forward,
Right.
keep doing what I'm doing, keep living your life with passion, desire, and having fun. And yeah, again, Brian, thank you so much for what you're doing.
Thank you.
It's really powerful and yeah, really insightful. So I really enjoyed our conversation. So I want to slowly be closing it to an end,
Yep.
and I have a few questions for you.
Yeah.
The first question that I have: what are the 3 to 5 tips that you can give to the men that are listening? What are we already discussed like most in detail what they can do, but I want to like have like in the closing end,
Yes.
what
The
kind of
focal
tips
points.
can you give to the men for them starting this journey and losing weight, taking get better care of themselves mentally, emotionally, and also with the body, with the food, everything that you feel is important to start?
Okay. Number one tip is your why. It always has to come back to what's inside your head, even more what's inside your heart. Okay. If you don't have a strong why, I can hear it on the phone almost immediately when someone jumps on the call. I've had more than enough conversations, thousands of them. Why want to lose weight right now? I want to look good, feel good, or whatever. But when someone has a lot of specific reasons on why they want to do something, then we have a foundation to build off of because it's going to be challenging. Life isn't easy. Change isn't easy. It can be simple, but it's not easy, right? Eat better, move your body, all that stuff. That's simple, but it's not easy to implement into your day. Build a podcast, pretty simple, right? You just got to talk to people and record it and then put it out there. But it's not easy process necessarily all the time, even with the individual guests. The why. Number two is consistency. There's so many ways to get to the outcome that you want. Say losing weight, we have to be in a calorie deficit. That's number one. And we can do it 1,000 different ways, whether you just reduce calories, you cut out carbs, you cut out fats, you cut out days that you eat and you fast a couple of days a week, you intermittent fast, you whatever diet, these things, all people lose weight, they just don't keep it off. So we have to create consistency. So the why, the consistency, and there has to be some persistence. When the going gets tough, you have to be able to push through. When the schedule gets overloaded, you have to understand, should I move left or should I move right? You have to understand, do I need to call in reinforcements and get some more support here? Do I have it on my own? Is this a season of life? that I have to navigate subtly different. I can't go run because I have an injury. That doesn't mean that you should sit on the couch. That means that you find a different way to go move your body, whether it's just walking or swimming, something. So I would say those are the top three. Then everything else falls into everything that we talked about. So the why, being consistent, taking action, and being persistent to not let anything slow you down.
Yeah, thank you for sharing those three powerful tips. And for me, it was also being consistent. And I was slacking with that a lot. It was so difficult to being consistent, going to the gym, eating healthy, working on this podcast. You have this
Yeah.
on and off days. And I also had
Mhm.
a lot of work on healing myself that took a lot of time and energy.
Yeah.
So do the things that has priority. If you feel like your body is tired all the time, figure out what's causing it. Do
Root
some
cause.
research. Yeah, look for the cause and not just like, oh, I just take a pill and then I can keep going. No, just go deeper, go into the layers. Maybe you have some unresolved traumas that you need to heal, or
Could
something
be.
that you have to focus on first before you can do the rest. But still be consistent and do your research and try to look for answers how to deal with that. So that came to me, and that's something that I want to share. So Brian, thank you so much for these amazing tips.
Thank you.
The last question that I want to ask you is, what is the most difficult thing in your life that you had to go through, and what is the most thing, or the most, what happened in your life that you are most proud of?
Ooh, some big ones to finish with.
I
A
always ask these questions with my guests.
the biggest challenge is showing up every single day with purpose, with intention, with continually being the person that I want to be. It's very easy, as you know. You can just quit the podcast tomorrow and then be done. But because there's a certain reason why you're doing it, then you keep doing it. It's my biggest challenge. I enjoy what I do, so it's not too big of a challenge, but doing this for 23 years, constantly finding a different way to sell the same thing of weight loss. How do I get in front of other people and influence them in a positive way and in an ethical way that they want to change themselves and they want my help to do it? I would say that that's a big one. It's just the business aspect side of this whole thing. So every day I choose to show up in the world, to empower myself, to go empower other people. That would be it. The greatest thing I would say is marrying my high school sweetheart, in the life that we've lived, and just talking on podcasts is gives me such more appreciation for what I have and who she is, and how much more I need to cherish her as a person and as my life partner. And the experiences of traveling to the 50 states and multiple countries, continents. That's, we were on a 2 week European vacation about a week and a half ago. Rome, Greece, Sicily, Paris. We did all these things with all four kids as well. We're going to do all seven continents in a matter of time. And the memories that have bonded our kids and us to our kids, the parents being kids, is just tremendous. And I'm just so thankful that we're able to experience that stuff, because my wife is not only resourceful, but she's a wizard at this stuff. She's a true expert in the art of travel, especially with families. There you go.
Awesome, perfect. What I want to add is, Brian, what I like about you is you're always so grateful. You're always so grateful for what you're doing, grateful for what you have, and
Thank
you're
you.
so positive. I've just, the moment that I talked to you, you were so alive, so focus driven. You really want to help from the heart, and I knew
Yeah.
right away I really want to have you on the show because you really want to help from the heart. You really want to
Yeah.
help
Thank you.
people achieve the best life they can get, and not just be on their deathbed and say, I wish I did this, I wish I did that. And you're really
Right.
giving men an opportunity, and also for older men and for dads, you're giving them an opportunity and a chance to change that. And there's not,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot of coaches that really focus on that area. So I really want to thank you for your time and all
Fat
those
loss is
years that
just
you.
the way to get in the door, so to speak. But empowerment and having a high set of standards is the bigger reason why. I just love it when people thrive in their life. Oh, it's my own drug. It's the drug I'm chasing.
Yeah, and again, Brian, it's so satisfying you to see doing this, and I'm really grateful that you took the time for being on the show and having this conversation, and it was really really amazing. So thank you so
Thank you.
much, Brian, for being here. So before we're gonna close it off, is there also you had a free gift, right, for the
Yeah, definitely.
audience?
For any man that, I guess a woman too. I've worked with women throughout my whole career, but men, I have the Call to Rise, and it's a fat loss, weight loss experience that helps transform your body over the next 100 days, but even more importantly, you as a person as well. Because we're going to connect, we're going to create community, we're going to create empowerment and help work through the challenges of what may have kept you stuck for so long. The free gift is a 3-day kick in the pants, so to speak. It's the Rise 72. It focuses on a number of different facets, from having a really specific, enjoyable yet specific nutrition, the lean nutrition part of it. There's some exercise protocols that I'm gonna have you do. There's some connection with those important people in your life. There's some mindfulness in there as well, because those are the components that make a complete person better. And it's called the Rise 72, and that'll be there. It's 3 days to jumpstart and get some initial wins and momentum in this process, getting into the Call to Rise 100-day program.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your amazing gift. Also, can how can they follow you? Can they follow you on social media
Yeah,
or
definitely. Thecalltorise.com, at the Call to Rise on Instagram, and then you can find me at Coach Brian Parana on most social medias as well. It's the easiest way to
great?
get me.
Yeah, I will put everything in the show notes so
Yep.
they can check everything out. And the
Wonderful.
last thing that I want to say is, well, Brian, like again, it's been a pleasure. I love your energy. I love your authenticity. How the way you helping men, and you always kept going. You never gave up. You saw it was so important, and you stick to it. And yeah, you lived the life as best that you could, and your dream life, and you made it work. So yeah, big respect for you also
Thank you.
that you came on the show. I really really appreciate it.
I
So
appreciate
thank you
having me.
so much. Absolutely. Is there something you want to say or add before we're gonna close it off?
Yeah, when you reached out and where we connected, it just, I saw what you're about, what your mission was, and I was connected to it, and just appreciate your time, your energy, your effort that you put into what you do. And I'm happy to be able to use your podcast as a vehicle to empower other people to take better care of themselves from, of course, a health standpoint, but also just being a better person. So thank you, Vincent, for all the work you're doing here behind the scenes. That because yes, we've been on for a little while. This is the fun part, and then you have to go to the production part of it that takes a fair amount of time. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you so much for your kind words. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this is the fun part, but once the production, it's a lot of work, especially with the editing and everything. But
Yep.
lucky there are people that also want to do it. So
Yep.
I'm also resourcing that as well, because
That's
this is
smart.
what you need to be doing as an entrepreneur. You need to do the fun part. You need to do the things that you
Yes.
enjoy so you can focus on the things to help people and all of that. If you just focus on everything, then you're not
Right.
an entrepreneur. The company, it's not really a company. It's really just you working in a company and not being the
Right.
CEO or the entrepreneur.
Right.
And that's what I'm going through right now with my journey with this podcast. And it's fun, but also it's challenging. But it's with everything. If you with diet, with working out, it's a challenge in the beginning. But once you have the rhythm, once you have the tools, and you know
Yep.
how to do it, it
It's a
just
skill set. It's a skill set.
Exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
And the more reps and experience you get, the better, easier, and faster it is. Your 1,000, if you get to 1,000 podcasts, it'll be way easier than your first 100.
True. Absolutely. So
All right,
Brian,
thank you so
again,
much.
thank you so much. It was a blast, and I
Yep.
really appreciate for you being here.
So thank you very much. That's it.
Thanks. So guys, thank you so much for watching. It was a real honor to having Brian on the show. I've learned a lot, and it's always amazing to have people like Brian on the show. So you can always follow me on Facebook and social media and check my content out. And for me, I really want to help men from the heart and also be aligned with them from the heart. So that's my journey. That's my passion, to really be aligned with the heart and live from the heart. So guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching. Brian, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show, and everybody take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey Lions, thank you for listening. Glad to have you on our journey to the authentic self. Want to learn more to embrace your potential? I invite you to keep listening. Do me a favor and smash the like and subscribe buttons, as this helps the show reach more listeners who need to hear these messages. See you next time.